Hi everyone, welcome back for next session of our podcast with the List Talks. And with me is Mr. Anwar Qureshi. Anwar Qureshi is the VP Data Analytics for one of the leading bank in Pakistan. Hi, Mr. Anwar.
Anwar
How are
Alam.
you? So I will just
Anwar
request
Alam.
Anwar to just give his brief introduction, and then we can take to the question and answers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Arif. My name is Mohammad Anwar Alam, and currently I'm the Vice President in Mizan Bank. And I have like 10 years of careers in data analytics, expertise in BI side. I've been working in Gulf also, in Europe also. And my core expertise are in data architect, data analytics, all data warehousing, implementing data lake, and expertise, especially specialize in BI strategies, setting up a BI team, setting up BI tools, assessing BI strategies, making the organization capable for experts in BI capabilities. So this is
Amazing.
all about me.
Amazing. That's an amazing portfolio. So as you mentioned that you have been working on BI strategy. So and you said you are working. So what do you think are the can be the BI? What should be the vision that one should consider while implementing the BI strategy for a financial institution like a leading global bank?
Okay, let's if you discuss about the BI vision, that's basically the basic question every organization should address to. The BI vision is it should be very strong and it should get aligned with our BI goals. Number
Okay.
one. Number two, it should completely okay. First of all, let's understand what BI is for me.
Yeah.
So for BI, let's say that the business intelligence. Why do we require business intelligence? What is business intelligence? So business is something you're making profit with the correct decisions or
Right.
wrong decisions, but how you can make profits with your decision. So decision making is very critical when it comes to any business.
Okay.
Okay, so in business intelligence, what we are going to do is what is our motive is to support any business, either it is a telco, either it's a financial institution, either it's any shop, either it's any grocery store, anything else,
Okay.
either it's any consultancy. So what a business intelligence capability should work on, that they should be able to support business decision making
Okay.
descriptively, predictively, and prescriptively.
I see.
Okay,
Okay.
even if it's there is no AI, even if there is no data warehouse, data stack, and everything, the BI was there. It was birthed in like 1918, like 1800 century. Uh, this name was birthed, was born. Uh, so at that moment also there was a niche requirement of that a system should be there which can support us in decision making.
Okay.
So when we do an intelligent type of decision making, that includes in business intelligence.
Got
Okay,
it. Okay.
now for those things we need to have tools. Why we require tools? We require tools because as the data is getting larger and larger, and now it's become a huge big data size, so for those aspects we need different kind of tools
Okay.
along with different kind of visualizations to see different types of insights. Again, insights help us uh, back again for the decision making process.
Okay.
Okay, so it's completely a very core requirement for business, uh, for taking decisions, for review their decisions, to understand the support system for their decision making.
Got it.
So initially, when AI was not there, when any data source was not there, there only descriptive data was there. Then also, in order to understand the past values, in order to understand the past decision, in order to understand the past, the decision that they have taken past, and what are the effects of it. So BI was required, and BI was a core strategy or the core operation to understand how the business can work or how the business can grow further.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now
basically,
moving
what
forward.
you are trying to conclude is that BI vision is more important because it helps in decision making and it helps in more informed decisions, right? Because you take
Right.
a
True.
decision and you are taking not only the decision, but it's an informed and very thoughtfully geared decisions. Okay.
True.
Sounds
True.
great.
True. True.
So let's move to the
Moving,
second.
just Arif, I just wanted to add a point in it regarding to the BI vision part. So in the vision part, that was just a definition that I was trying to define
Mhm.
business intelligence. So when it comes to the vision part, see, whenever the organizations are going to make a BI vision, And on that vision, BI strategies, operation plans, and everything. Uh, One thing is that they should understand that why they are doing it. Even
Okay.
the higher management, even the top management should aware why we are doing it, why do we need it.
Okay.
Okay, number one. Number two, those visions should completely and directly align with strong and effective KPIs for the business drive, for driving a business.
Driving a business.
So
Okay.
keeping all these things in mind, along with this, there is one last and the most important thing that I used to evaluate. That's the stakeholder part. Number one, you should involve all the stakeholder in your BI vision. Number one, and number two part, and the number second part is the BI culture. Like you need to understand which organization, which area you have been. I have been working in Gulf also, in Europe also, and now in Pakistan also. So I have seen different type of cultures related to BI. There are people, there are employees, they don't want to leave Excel, let's say
Absolutely.
for next 100 years,
Yeah.
next 100 years they don't want to leave Excel. Okay, there is a culture, they don't want to get into any other BI, they don't want to even listen to the BI, they just only wanted to have their Excel sheets. And when
Right.
they are done with their Excel sheet, they will try to do some queries and all. I mean, and they don't want to leave Excel. But the point is, the right tool with the right culture. So in your vision, this should be there, that what type of surrounding, what type of culture you have, and you need to make your culture, your organization culture, capable of the BI vision.
No,
So these are the
I
three.
totally agree. I
Yeah.
think the last point you have mentioned actually resonates with my experience. So I was implementing the BI strategy, and we were doing the migration from Excel reports and Cognos reports to like the Power BI, and they were wanted to leave the Excel because they were immune to Excel so much. So, but yeah, that's a basically adoption part where while you are implementing a BI strategy, a lot of emphasis has to be done on the how the user adoption is there on the BI stack. So that is at least a big challenge and seems a
Yes.
big struggle once you are adopting or implementing a BI strategy or BI framework from a technical perspective. Okay, great inputs on the vision part. So let's move to the second question, and that second aspect is that since you emphasize a lot on the BI strategy, uh, how a financial institution or any organization can conduct a strategy assessment because they are going to the strategy, right? So you need to assess how you want to plan and how you want to execute. So what are some um, components of the BI strategy or BI strategy assessment, and what is the significance to the organization?
Okay. Thank you very much for getting us into this question. I was thinking about this, that we are talking about the strategy, so we should initiate it. That how we should, what should be the starting point? Like what is
Absolutely.
the 0 point for any BI strategy? That's a very good area, and people, I've not seen so much talks about this. So I'll share with you my experience, that
Okay.
how we have taken up this strategy. So what we have understood is that first of all, you need to find out the assessment goals.
Sure.
Okay, if you are going to assess your BI strategy, or you are going to make a new BI strategy, or something, because uh, in any or the other way, the BI strategy is already there. If the organization is even not aware about this thing, the
Sure.
BI strategy is there. All the analysts, all the junior analysts, senior analysts, they are making KPIs and everything. So uh, under the umbrella, the BI strategy is already there. But the
Right.
thing is, if you are going to go for a BI tool, if you are going to implement a complete BI strategy from zero, from scratch, so first of all, you need to understand the assessment goal. So for the assessment goal, you need to first of all take up with your stakeholders, and that would be directly business.
Right.
I have a hybrid role. I have a techie role also, tech savvy role also, and a business understanding also, both in telecom also, and in the financial sector also.
Right.
So for me, business, I have to learn business. So
Okay.
on that aspect, yeah, on that aspect, I the first part was to get involved with all the stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
What do they want? Gather their requirements, their BRDs, their business requests, whatever they are thinking, how in how many ways they can think for a business.
Right.
Okay, uh, uh, we call it in our Indo Park word the dhanda.
Right.
That in how many aspects they can do their business,
My business.
right, left, center, 360-degree, what they want to do about the customer, how they want to deal with this customer experience, profits, revenues, ROIs, and whatnot. Write down everything. take up all their requirement, gather all their requirements, so that the stakeholders will be aware that now some IT is doing something for directly for us. Okay. Now the second part is the major part. The second major part is now this is supposed to be the wish list.
Okay.
Now we have to understand the actual data. So we need to assess the data quality, all the data aspects, that what
Mhm.
data is with us, what we don't have, what are the touch points
Mhm.
related to the customer data, what are the transactions we have, what types of balances we have, what not. It depends on the industry. Uh, After assessing the data quality part and the data capability part, that are we able to get all these wish lists from this data, then we need to analyze or do the gap analysis. Okay, out of these 100 wishes we can go for 80 wishes. After that 80 wishes we have to plan for 20 20 20 in 5 phases or in 3 phases. Okay, so in this way you can align yourself to start making your BI strategy.
Okay.
Again, point number one, started from the stakeholder. Point number two, assess your data sets. Point number three, start preparing a plan how to complete their wish list. Okay, because now in this position, as I told you about the BI vision, we need to involve our stakeholders into this. Now this vision is driven from this strategic plan, that you are here for understanding their requirement, understanding their business aspect, and trying to help them in decision making
Perfect.
in terms of data. So this is how you can start your thing. And then again, your BI strategy should be aligned with organizational goal. Again, there are some policy making thing, there are some governance stuff, so you need to align yourself with all these things. Fourth and the last more thing, sorry, fifth and the last thing is uh, a continuous improvement. Okay, this is the major aspect. There are so many organizations, they have installed a single BI tool, they have completely relied on that tool, and all of a sudden the support is gone. All of a
Yeah.
sudden there is some technical glitch or something, and there's a complete army of employees who knows a single, let's say Power BI, let's say Tableau, they know only one of a tool, and they are not able to migrate easily. So again we are creating another Excel. So let's not do that. There should be a continuous improvement, there should be a continuous upgrade, and the BI strategy should involve these point as strategic goal, that that they need to review their strategy and their tool by yearly.
No, I
So
think
this is what
very
I
good
think that.
points. Very good points. But let me share my experiences how we did. I came up with the assessment. So, uh, very rightly said, start with the stakeholder analysis and do the requirement gathering and then assess what exactly is required. Come up with a requirement BRD document and see. So what we did was that we came up with like different use cases, and the use cases were primarily, I think, we came up with like maybe from a commercial side, maybe the impact of pricing on our data sets, right? So BI system should be capable to actually give us what exactly is the revenue realizations or maybe revenue enhancements for the organization. If we change the price of your plans, maybe your monthly bank accounts, or what's the rental for that, or exactly come up with a new subscription, fixed cost, or the line rental cost. So that was one part of it, right? Second part was to come up with a credit control point of view that, okay, for a specific your credit card or maybe your credit lines, right? So customers who are reaching out to the limit, so there should be some kind of BI kind of reports that can be very predictive in nature and can help in identifying, okay, this is something that might need to be exceeding the limits, or this might actually breach their limits, etc., so that effective measures can be taken. Third is, of course, fraud and AML part of financial crime. So though
Okay.
these are like finance-driven solutions or areas or components, but actually it is very much dependent on the BI and the data side. So they cannot, the obsolete world is the process world is there, but the process is very much tied to your data, and data is coming in from your data lake. So eventually, these were the use cases what we thought that could be the assessment parts, that okay. And once you are able to identify the use cases for that, maybe your financial crime, your credit controls, and maybe for the AML perspective, then you go back and of course you have You have to identify whether it's an enterprise level BI or it's maybe a, specific subject area, maybe finance, or and then you start going back and identifying the data sources with the data. What might be the data looks like? Is it a structured data or it's unstructured data? And how that data is assessed and how it is stored and how it can be enhanced and brought into like a form at the end of the day, how it can be consumed by the business users for the decision making. So I think you covered all of them. Thank you very much. One more question is that most of the times when you're doing assessments, right? So there are some nightmares we explore, some things that you never visualize the thing, or it's a very scary part. Maybe the complexity of your data sources, or maybe when you are saying your business is saying come up with like a pricing impacts or maybe the churn. So it's a very complex models from a conceptual perspective, and there are a lot of sciences, there are a lot of degrees where people go for a specific training. But when it comes in the deputation of like implementation in a BI environment within the BI architecture, it is very, very difficult to implement part, right? Because it involves a lot of complex data model and backend. So how, as a leader, uh, basically you tie the hands with the business as well, and the end of the day, it transforms that business aspect into the technology aspect as well.
Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to just support your just rephrase this thing, that the basic thing that we require to connect from business and IT is the awareness.
Is a
Is
way.
awareness. Is
Okay.
awareness.
Awareness. Okay.
It's awareness. Okay, you need to upskill your business from IT aspect, and you need to upskill your IT from business aspect.
Mhm.
Okay,
Is it
otherwise there is
collaboration? Is it awareness or is it collaboration?
it's a model. Basically it's a model of collaboration. Yes, it's a model of collaboration. I'm not going into that collaboration or that model area, the development model area. I'm just getting into the assessment part, the BI
Okay.
assessment. How
Okay.
would you assess the BI, and how would you assess the capabilities of BI?
Right.
Okay, so again, connecting with my previous answer. Okay, already we have gathered the information what business is expecting from us. We have their wish list. Okay, first of all, after assessing the data sets and the data sources, clearly identify them that okay, this is doable in this way, this is doable in this manner, and we can try for this thing. So there are three things. One is that yes, it's already available.
Mhm.
Yes, this is what we can do it for you, and yes, this is what we can try it for you. Okay,
Mhm.
this is the approach that I used to follow when I'm interacting with business mostly. Okay, so first of all is the defining of the BI objectives, that okay, the BI is going to give you this is aspect. Now, working on those objectives, deliver your dashboards, deliver your interactive dashboards, deliver your MIS reports, deliver phase one, work on phase two. So the business is so what I'm trying to say is, if you again what I'm trying to say is, if you have a strong collaboration with business, and they can start working on your reports, and they get relied on your reports, again they will listen to you. If there is some constraint, like to suppose that there is a data completeness issue for 5 million users, their let's say their gender is not available. So how, if the data is not there, the data is not complete, or the quality is bad. So let's say there are certain AI principles from where machine learning algorithms from where we can set up the data quality issues, we can fix the data quality issues. But there are certain cases, you are very right, that there is no way out, and business is expecting it. So how to deal with these situations? So on this situation, I would definitely what I used to do is, first of all, I take always business on board.
Okay.
In all the in all the tech discussion, I always used to take them with me. That okay,
Right.
so this is how it is going to be. This is how it has to be. You need to upskill. You need to learn. This is how, and talk for the business. And
Mhm.
as a BI role, okay, I'm related to the data analytics. I'm coming under the data analytics umbrella, but I have to talk for business,
Right.
because I know the data side is very strong, and they can deliver lots and lots of things, but we need to push them.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to push them to Google it and find out a solution for it.
Okay.
Secondly, first thing. Secondly, uh, I have a strong background from database side.
Wow.
I have a hands-on experience on Oracle and whatnot, Oracle DB2. Vertica, and so many other SQL based and non-SQL based. So I have a hands-on experience, like 4 or 5 years. I have been involved in data normalization, denormalization, slow flakes, 3NF model, 2NF model, 4NF model. So I have a strong background in terms of the backend data. So it's very, so I know that things are possible.
Okay.
Okay, things are possible, not up to the mark of 100%. Let's say the accuracy could be 80%, 70%, 90%. So things are possible. Okay, there is nowhere that we can say now. You must be aware that from AI we can even prepare new data sets.
Sure.
Okay, it's not about if the data is missing, so we can create another hundreds of attributes for that data from our data sets, and we can find out the clustering part, the churn area, the predictive model, the optimization techniques, and everything. So we have lots and lots of area that we can do. Now, coming back to the BI part, when it comes to the BI part, the only constraint that we are going to have is the wish list if they wanted to see right to left and left to right. Okay, that's the only pain. Okay, so if a BI person, I strongly urge this thing. If a BI person have a strong knowledge in database management, okay, so he knows, number one thing, how to summarize the data and how to optimize the BI reports. These are the two most important thing. If the tool is not working, if the tool is lagging, so that kills the entire data analytics performance.
I
They
see.
will say data analytics is doing nothing, we are not able to do anything.
Right.
But the raw data, there's a millions and a billions of raw data. If you are making it summary at the back end, preparing it completely into a liner form, into a small summary form, and then you are going to go for a visualization area, it's going to be super fast, and it will create a very good performance results for the business. So they will be completely satisfied with this. So these are the two major parts that I would say that a BI capability or the BI capacity should be assessed on. One is the performance area. The BI person should be aware about the fact that how to get the summaries of that data sets before getting into the visualization part. Number one point. Number 2 point is what I explained earlier,
Optimization.
that yeah, the business should be aware what is going on and what can be done and what cannot be done and
Perfect.
what is
Okay.
required. Some yeah.
Absolutely. And I would just like to add one more, 2 points more, that of course, your performance and your optimization are the main drivers. But it also depends upon that refining the business requirements in a way that is like has more value to the business. That if they
Yes.
say, okay, this is my wish list. So as a technical advisors or business advisors, we need to go back and see that, okay, this is doable, but actually this is more valuable if you want to see like this and this, rather than making a
True. True.
comparison of orange versus bananas. If you are able to slice and dice maybe the bank's revenue by maybe by products or by geographies, so you should be able to tell them and you have to guide them as well. So primarily, what I believe is that BI is a roadmap, and it's not a journey, and it's a journey where you start from like zero, and then there is an undefined destinations. You go more
Undefined distance. True.
undefined destinations. It goes more and more and more. Okay, thank you very much. And this brings me into one more thought, and I wanted to ask, with your experiences, that uh, what are you, what as a leader from a BI perspective, what do you think are the BI governance and the control framework? Because generally, BI comes with, like, providing all information to the business users. And when you
Mm.
go to the
Yep.
business users, they will say, "Oh, I need everything, give me the everything." And from an IT perspective, you can't give anything, but at the end of the day, there is some kind of a governance model that IT has to follow as well, from IT frameworks or IT governance and the frameworks pro model. So, with your perspective, with your vision, what do you think are some governance and controls? And second part is, first is what are the governance and controls, and second is like what are the advantages and disadvantages?
Okay.
Disadvantages are
Great.
if business is not happy, they want more, and
Yeah.
you are not able to do that. But please answer from your experience. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. It's a great question, and that this is basically the sweet kick that we used to get from governance and information security every day from the business aspect. This is a sweet cake that we used to get every day.
Yeah.
On the one end, they are always asking for more and more data, and on the other end, people are asking, you cannot give this, you cannot give that. How you open that, and how come he can see this data, and how come he can see that data? So that's the biggest pain area. But what I have done, like what we have done, and what I have experienced it from large organizations also, so from a medium range organizations also. We have I have experienced everything in Itasalat also, and we have now implemented all the strong governance policies in Mizan Bank also, because it's a financial organization, and without a governance and information securities approval, we cannot go ahead. So uh, as we have discussed, like from like 20-25 minutes, we were discussing about the data part, the visualization part, the business area. So now you're talking about the business, the BI processes. Okay, when it comes to the BI processes area, first of all, again, we need to assess what the BI process, we need to assess the process. First of all, again, it has to be a part in our vision, it has to be a part in our strategic goal. It has to be now we are discussing the operational part of it. So first of all, the BI process, whatever is going on, whoever is making what report, from which data, is it useful for him, or it says his data, or is somebody, or he's using somebody else's data, is data is relevant to him, yes or no. So for that purpose, what I have experienced is that there is a structure, there is an architecture of data marts.
Yep.
Okay. So we have put up a controls in this way, that we have created data marts for different teams and different departments.
Okay.
Even in previous organizations also, what we have done is we have divided the data lake and the data warehouse in terms of areas and in terms of mart. Now those marts, the data that is being given into onto those marts are first of all signed off from the governance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they have to give a proper justification of it,
Okay.
that we are justifying for this data, we need to have this data from approvals and everything. After a passing a complete approval process, then those tables or those data sets, like for suppose retail team, in finance, retail team is, if the retail team is asking for a treasury data, it's of no use.
Right.
Okay, it's of no use. If the normal SME team is asking for the corporate data, it's of no use.
Yes,
So the
okay.
governance is there, the governance policies, the data governance policies are in place, and they should be very carefully taken care of, because it's a highly integral part of any DI, data warehousing and BI solution. If this is not pertaining in any organization, it's going to be a huge risk. And we can hear so many complaints and so many scams going on, and so it's like the firing chair where you're sitting while opening the data set for everyone. So there is no data. What I used to say is, there is no data called as in Urdu it's said sara data. Sara data is complete data. So I used to hear this thing, give us Sara data, but I mean, give us all the data.
Yeah.
So I used to reply back. There is no data named as Sara data.
Right.
There is no data named as complete data. Okay. There is no data. There is no such data. So first of all, again, going back to the basic, give me your requirements, give me your basic requirements, lock his requirements, get it approved, and get that data sets, get that everything, visualization, everything on board to him. The third part for the data governance area, what I think it's a very crucial thing. uh, who is the role and the capability part. Like for suppose, well, what I have experienced and what we have implemented is that we have created certain roles and groups, and we have initiated a self-service BI strategy. You must be aware about that. So in that strategy, some are developer,
Okay.
some are viewer, and some are only one is a developer and one is a viewer. Okay, and one is the admin part.
Right.
So developers have some extensive rights to drag and drop, create new things, filters, prompt, and whatnot. But the viewer part, they can only the static reports, or they can see the only the static dashboards.
That's right.
So this is how we have put up a controls, one on the data level and the second on the viewer and the developer level.
I see.
So we have a very strong data governance, alhamdulillah,
That's amazing.
and
That's amazing.
that's a very crucial area. You have
Very,
nipped
very
into
good
the
to hear.
part, and this is very crucial part.
Okay, just to add a couple of my perspective as well. I'm very much impressed by the governance controls you guys have applied. So one of the areas that actually I have learned is like maybe the governance perspective, since it applies to each and every individual in the organization. and it applies to each and every data source, right? And each to every report, right? So of course, uh, when we say that we need to apply some controls and even the dissemination of the report, who is the user for it. So the best approach, what we took was that come up with a RACI matrix and define the responsibility. RACI matrix is who is responsible for what and who is accountable for what. So that is one part in which we streamline that. Who are the persons who are managing the data and who are persons who are responsible for generating the reports or developing the reports, and who are the persons who are actually users of the report. So that is one part. Second part is like we did provide some automated controls on the report. For example, let's say we have 4 states in Pakistan like Punjab and Sindh, etc., or maybe frontier, right? Let's different provinces, and we have the one sales dashboard, and you don't want that sales numbers of Punjab should be shown to the sales number that is like in other provinces, right? But the national sales manager should be able to retrieve the same. So in our previous world, we used to create some different reports. Okay, give me the same report, versions, 5 versions of the report, right? And 5 versions of the report, one it for the national level, then it is for the province level, and maybe it's for the regional levels. So the tool like Power BI, what we have is a row level security and the table level security and even the column level security. So it's a one dashboard, and one dashboard you apply different reports. One that okay, this is one role. You define a role at maybe at a data lake level or something like level, and say okay, this is our national role, or this is at a provincial role, or it's a review role. So that is one part of like who can see the data. The second part is of course related to the consumption part, where you can say okay, this is a read and write report. This viewer should be given a only the read or read view of that. He can just view that, but that is all that. He can download the report, but he cannot make the changes. Next version is like maybe a person who can not only read it, but apply some different filters and mechanisms on that, maybe drill up,
Hmm.
slice up, slice down, etc. Third part is like the same report, same dashboard on same link available to 20,000 resources. Like we have like 50,000 CMRs or CSRs over here. So 10,000, 5,000 power users for a specific report, right? So there are a lot of people who want to not only use the dashboard, but also apply different filtering, what you were saying as a self-service, right? So they are able to capable or download or use that specific dashboard and apply different filters and even apply some different scenarios in that report. Last is like the admin role, you must be knowing about the power user. Okay, so that was good enough, good discussion.
Great.
One part actually wanted to touch base since you said self-based, self-BI, right? So self-BI is again a good topic, right? So I just wanted to ask from your experience. So let me share some insights before asking the question. So generally, when it comes to enterprise BI strategy, we have 3 models. One is the enterprise BI. BI. In enterprise BI, what you are doing is like IT is taking all the control in data management, data data loading, data enhancements, transformation, data engineering, and then data visualization. Business is just, they give us the requirement just to generate the reports. And since they are the finance people or like marketing people, they are more on their marketing analytics or HR analytics or financial analytics from different of their data marts, and IT is maintaining it. So that is one part of it. The second part is like one step further is the self-service BI, where your IT people are actually managing the data warehouses, but they are providing an access to the business users, and they are capable of, as you said, that self-service BI, where they have some more powers to actually transform the data or maybe slice and dice or apply different filters. It's not a static report. They are not going to just link it, but even they want to change the format as per the like, but still it is managed by IT, right? And governance is there. And third aspect is like you just create the dashboard databases and bring the data engineering part and all the data visualization. IT has no idea what finance and what. So generally, all three perspective of enterprise BI strategy is perfectly fine. And while I'm in North America, I can see in the different telcos and different banks, all three are taken by, and there are pros and cons and advantages and disadvantages. So, as per your perspective, what is the best model, and what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, thanks a lot, Arif. So the model that you were talking about, so ideally there are, you have said it for three, but I take them as four models. Okay,
Four models. Okay.
one is a centralized IT model, where, as you told us, as you said, that IT is the custodian of data, IT is custodian of the tools, expertise, and the entire capability, the tech capability for the organization.
Okay.
Second is the decentralized model. In decentralized model, what is it? That the business will take care of any application, any app they wanted to create, any solution they wanted to speak with a vendor, and IT is just a support function.
Okay.
There is no comments from IT side. Okay.
Mhm.
The third model is a hybrid model. Okay, there are some projects going on with the IT solely for the upgrades, let's say for extensive upgrades of the core and something like that. And there are some small projects and some application level project going on directly with the business and the vendor.
Okay.
Okay. Now the fourth one that I like the most and that we prefer to implement, and this is like the specialty for me, that's a collaborative model.
Oh,
Okay, in the collaborative model, uh, where the IT and business sit together with the vendor, understand the requirement. Business is there to give the requirement. The vendor is again asking, not business, vendor is again asking IT that this is doable, this is required, these are the prereq. So the IT is there to prepare for the prereq, to arrange for the PMOs are involved and the BAs are involved to understand the business requirement from business aspect also, and to understand the IT requirement from the business aspect also, and
Okay.
then to completely, yeah, and then collaboratively run this project with a vendor. So this approach is very good approach, and it's a healthy model. uh, i have seen uh, I have seen organization, I've experienced organizations that they end up with lots and lots of delays, and even they end up with unfinished projects. Uh, if the model is centralized or if the model is decentralized, if the model is IT centralized, if the project is run as IT centralized model, the business is not satisfied. If the
Right.
model is decentralized model, IT has got lots and lots of issues while giving the data, while extracting the data, while the report extraction, optimization, they will not put anything into it, that okay, the vendor has created it. But when it comes to the collaborative model, it's always a soft corner, it's always a communication field is there, it's always there are forums created. From the collaborative model, you can generate certain forums, and those forums could be so powerful, and you can find out so powerful employees who can make the things done very quickly,
Oh,
rather than waiting for somebody, a tech person from IT or a business guy from business. There you will find out some BAs, there you will find out some PMOs who are very good in dealing collaborative in communication, and they can get your project done ASAP. So
yes.
that approach, I prefer that approach. That collaborative approach is very good in it.
Thank you very much for
Agile
sharing
approach.
this collaborative approach. And viewers, you must be knowing that I learned a new model with the help of Rishi Saab. So it's a collaborative model. I've taken note of it, and I'm definitely it is added to my notes. Okay, so let's run some couple of good questions. So your research or maybe statistics say 95% of BI projects fail. So why do you think so?
See, 95 projects, 95 projects are failed, uh, because see, the point is, everyone requires a pre-cooked food, okay, and they want to eat in haste. But it could be a one-time report, it
Okay.
could be a two-time report. It requires more effort. But when it comes to BI architecture, okay, so all the BI experts, BI BI architect people, and all the BI framework managers, they should understand the fact that they should make realize or make aware or communicate these things with the business also, that let's not prepare it for one time, let's do it for always. Let's continue it for always. Let's go for a continuous improvement plan. But what I've seen is that mostly, so those things, I don't used to call them BI projects. These are just a reports. You can take it from Excel, you can take it from Power BI, Tableau, IBM Cognos, anyway. Those are just the Excel reports. Okay. So when the BI project is there, so the BI project is the final visualization part. That doesn't include that you need to upload your Excels and get the visualization over there. The BI part means you need to have a proper data warehouse. You need to have a proper semantic layer. Okay, so that's the main thing that BI experts and the organizations are 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 uh, are driving on. The semantic layer, the data layer is very raw. After passing through 2 3 levels in data warehouse, they get into a semantic layer, and that semantic layer defines the business capability, the business decision making capability. Like, for suppose if they are taking decision with a customer behavior, let's say on 5 attributes, and they are using these 5 attributes from 1 decade, they are not aware what is there in it. But once you create a strong semantic layer, they would be able to see 10 more attributes or 20 more attributes along with this, so they can slice and dice, they can do some other visualization, they can see the hidden pattern. This is the word I wanted to use. They can see the hidden pattern. This is what we have experienced a lot. Maybe you can say every month I used to experience this thing while doing some analytics for business. I'm experiencing some hidden patterns of the data that haven't been seen from a decade. There
Absolutely.
was some story going on between the data, between 2 tables, between 3 tables. There is some story going on. And once we have started implementing our AI solutions into this, we have clearly identified those patterns, and those patterns are being learned by the machine learning models, and they are now able to predict. And we can go very strong, accurate prediction by learning those hidden patterns. Now, coming back to the point related to the SSBI part, once the semantic layer is there, you have a strong semantic layer. Yes, then the second most important part is identify the people who can be the power user.
True.
Third thing, not everyone is a MIS analyst. Okay, out of a team of 20 people, 10 people, there is a one guy sitting on Excel or sitting on something and making reports for all 50 people.
50 people, yeah.
Okay, so identify those points. Add this thing in your BI strategy. Identify those touch points who are interested. They wanted to get yourself up skills. They wanted to get up skill on any tool that company has opted. Now, third thing, train them. Train them on self-service BI, starting from the scratch, starting from the data understanding. Then you will be able to understand now what we have experienced is there is in a 1 years of time, in a 1.5 year of time since we have started, we have initiated all these aspects of training and self-service BI and all these things. So we can clearly identify, we can clearly see the requirement gathering. Once before, earlier business used to say, okay, this is what we have written in 5 lines, this is the business strategy. Okay, now you have to create something on this. Now when it comes to a systematic way, all those analysts, they are giving, sir, this column, this report, this
Right.
filter, this thing. Okay, give me all, I will do the filtering part and the prompting part myself on the report.
Sure.
So that's the major achievement that you can gain in a BI project. So
Mhm.
that's why I used to say that BI projects may fail because that those are not the BI projects. If you have installed somewhere a Power BI, Tableau, or IBM Cognos, and they are able to extract their same reports those they were getting on Excel, then there is no use of implementing this complete costly solution. Try to upskill your employees. Try to upskill your culture. Make a BI culture. Make a BI environment all around your organization. People should talk about not about Excel, not about report. They should talk about predictive analytics. They should
Yep.
say, okay, we have an optimization technique. uh, let's suppose that the cash optimization technique, let's suppose there's a churn prediction model.
Yep.
3 months before, we can assume, okay, this guy is going to leave us. So these are all the things that makes that for me, that makes up a successful BI project.
No, I
If
totally agree. I totally agree.
these
I
capabilities
totally
are
agree.
not there,
I
then
was saying
there is
the
no use
same
of it.
thing that your BI, one part is like just implement the report and give them the data. The other thing is like the use cases, like cash optimization. You said
Yes.
financial crimes. If these use cases can be delivered by the BI, that is actually the essence. But I have one
Yes.
tricky question with you, right? And sorry for that tricky question. You said a semantic model, right? And also you said data lake. So do you think your streaming data can be considered, that can be captured in the semantic model?
I'll tell you. I'll explain you this thing. Uh, See, there is a misconception between a data engineer and a mining engineer.
Okay.
If you understand these two positions, it will be very easy for you to understand this aspect. When it comes to data lake part, all the data is being fed into it live or day minus one or whatsoever. It's a huge repository.
Right.
Okay. So from those from that repository, there is like maybe 10% of data that is being used as a data warehouse, as structured data, normalization, denormalization, and everything. Then after that, it become a semantic layer.
Right.
So what I have experienced is the data that is flowing into a lake, that's like, let's say, that's like 100% of the data is being fed into a data lake. Only 10%, 15% is being used in a warehouse, and out of that 15%, maybe 6, 7, 8% of data is being used in a semantic layer. Okay, now semantic layer. How do we? Okay, now first of all, identify this thing that mining engineers will work on lake. They will create new datas, they will create new structures, they will create and they will find out new hidden patterns between different resources, different applications in the company, whereas the data engineers will be responsible for the data warehousing part.
I see.
Data engineers, so where they will reconstruct, they will recreate summaries, new tables, new requirements, and all these things. They will enrich that data warehouse, whereas the mining engineers will be working on there. Now data warehouse, what I have experienced is, onto some extent we need the live reports. Okay, this only a 2% or 3% reports that we read, 2% or 3% KPIs that we required the live reports. Otherwise we always we are used to of seeing everything on day minus one.
Yeah.
So there is a difference between OLAP and OLTP. So
Right.
what we want is the OLAP part. So semantic layer is all will always be based on OLAP, because there will be some KPIs, some calculated KPIs that have to pass through
Transformation.
certain query and certain algorithm, and then they have to come as a semantic layer, as a KPI in the semantic layer.
Right.
So semantic layer, what I always used to suggest is semantic layer should be day minus one, because if it's not a semantic, if it's not a day minus one, then there is no analysis performed on it. It's a live data. So we have a hybrid model. We used to have the semantic layer also, and along with this we used to have the live data also. So we have
Oh.
experienced both the things.
Is your data warehouse or data lakes is in a cloud environment, or like on
That's that's something confidential.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
No,
by the way,
but the
but no,
reason
no, but
I
by
was
the way,
asking.
fintechs, I'll tell you, fintechs in Pakistan, due to the regulatory stuff, they cannot be on the cloud somewhere
The
else.
cloud server.
They
Okay.
have to be on the premises.
Okay.
Yes, they have to be on
That's,
the premises.
no,
Okay.
I'm not going to touch this, sir. That's very confidential.
Architecture, they can adopt the lake architecture, they can adopt the cloud architecture,
Right.
but it has to be on the premises.
I see. Right. Because the reason was that even the semantic layer, since you said that it's not applicable for the social media or maybe the special data or maybe data that is coming with the live video analytics, like here in Canada or like in America, we have witnessed a long, very good use cases for Snowflake, your Databricks, right, Medallion, and we have implemented that as well, where a lot of value is actually delivered by applying the live data or streaming data, video analytics, etc., into like your data warehouse, and from that, very informed analytics are brought. Anyways, but
I understood your point.
yeah,
I understood your point. I've experienced these things outside also, in Europe also.
yeah,
There are a lot of options for the live streaming and the live APIs and everything. But in the fintechs and all, there's a lot of security levels, and there's a lot of security things that we
yeah.
cannot do it over.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Totally understand it. That's totally regarded as well. One last two questions. I think it has been a very long discussion, so let's wrap up in two small three questions. Uh, what if users are actually wanting ask for like social media analytics, and since that is not there because it's more kind of unstructured data, so how from IT perspective you defend your business case? Is it like the capability issue, or is it like the understanding issue, or is it like a roadmap issue? How will you classify that if they ask for maybe the Twitter, like maybe the Nizam Bank having like a Twitter, they want to see the traffic and impact of like Twitters, like So, and since you guys, maybe it's in your roadmap or since you are not there, so how will you defend that argument?
Okay, see, the first thing that we are safe from these type of queries is the information security team.
Okay.
Information security team and the data governance team has already bounded their internet services, Twitter and LinkedIn and other social sites. They have already blocked it. In banking environment, we are not. It's not a very free environment to work on or to roam around and to check out so many things.
Okay.
So they have a very controlled environment, first of all, so you cannot access any of the social sites very easily.
That's
Okay,
great.
number one. Number two point, what I used to prefer is that, see, if somebody is getting directly some data from APIs, like we used to do in Etisalat, somebody is getting data directly from APIs, from Twitter, from Facebook, or from Instagram. Okay, any comments or any feedback
Yep.
coming directly from to it. So in that scenario, what they're gonna do for it? Okay, they're gonna respond it, they're going to respond back, they're going to respond some message. So there should be bots for it, there should be chat bots for it, that they should understand the point and they should reflect it back. Okay,
Yep.
this is what they can do. After reflecting them back, those details should be captured in a
Mhm.
table. They should be given as the leads to your human employees.
Right.
Okay, so there is no current, like, if you like, see, it's an additional source and we don't need that.
Yes.
you
Okay.
can you can you can you can you can see and you can solve all these problems with chatbots also. We have lots and lots of chatbots nowadays.
Okay.
Okay, for Google, for Twitter, for Facebook, for Instagram. So just feed them up and do the responsive part with the chatbots, and that's very accurate and that's very helpful also. And then after that, in order to pursue those queries, uh, get that data and then align your employees to it and
Okay.
call them up or reach them out and solve their queries.
Perfect. Perfect. And this is the last question, and I'm really grateful for your time and your insights. You came up with like a lot of a journey, and you build a data model and business BI architecture. Now, market is responding in a way that there are new products coming, like maybe some new products are launched, maybe e-commerce products, right? Then maybe some other fintech products, right? So when these products are launched, that BI assessment is done before, or maybe is there some for example, the business wants to launch some products for a new data source, and that is not the part of the data model. So that will be a
Okay.
showstopper. How will those and they say that okay, now we believe that 40% of our the targets for this year, or maybe we want to do that. So they are all aligned that this has to be live. But from a technical perspective, there is a huge impact on your business architecture, BI architecture, where maybe some modeling has to be changed or some. So how do you witness these kind of scenarios? And if
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
so then
We
how you
we are
mitigate?
witnessing. Yeah, yeah, we are witnessing these things. You can say, every week, we are having these things. We have certain applications. So I'll answer these things in only three small points. Okay, we'll cut it very
I
short.
like the way
So
of
the first point.
taking the problem and answering 3 points. This is really a great idea.
So it's going to be only 3 points. Number one point, which I discussed in the vision part, the continuous improvement part. So
Okay.
first of all, your question was that are we going to be very much absorbent towards a new BI tool? The answer is yes,
Okay.
and we all have to be. We cannot be stuck to a single BI source. We should keep on our study going on. We should meet vendors. We should meet people around the globe to see what technology is best going, and we need to adopt those technology, how we can migrate it, how we can redevelop all these things. So this is an ongoing continuous improvement project. This cannot be left behind. Number one point. Number second point, if there is any new sources there, okay, so what we used to do is whenever the development part is there, so we used to align our few resources with them. So we get the guest, because we used to, because what I've seen is that we used to make the project plan in a way and the project scope in a way that, okay, let's say if there are 20 applications that you need to federate, 10 you will federate, and for 10, for the next 10 you will supervise. Our
Okay.
staff will do it. Okay, so this is what the upskilling area of your team. Okay, so this is like train from the trainer concept, and I used to love this concept, that this is this is a retention. This is a retention also. If you are helping an employee in learning his skill set, and you're not raising his salary, that's also a very good point. He's at least learning something. He's at least lifting up his skill sets. That's also a value addition for him.
Mhm.
So I prefer this thing, that it has to be always a train the trainer concept, and half of the work the development team should do it, half the work we should do it. So now we are capable of adding any source at any point in time. We can federate it with the model, we can align it with the model, and we can do right, left, center, anything with the data warehouse and data lake and everything.
Amazing, amazing. I think that was my last question, but how frequent is like you come up with like your key persons are leaving the bank or organizations? So of course, retention is very critical from an HR perspective and even from a leader perspective. It's very because it's a team who is delivering the initiative, right? Maybe at the business side or the technical side. So is it like high resignations? Because in Canada, it was like a true resignation, and then we have a quiet resignation, and now we are again witnessing a lot actually.
Arif, as compared to the rest of the banks or the organizations in Pakistan, mm, my bank, my organization is very good and healthy organization
I
in
see.
terms of the profitability and everything.
Mhm.
So I would say that it's not very difficult, but as a capability and as an attitude for people management, it's very difficult to work in in Pakistan, in this South Asia, in this South Asia nation, in South Asia, in this Pakistan Indo-Pak area, rather than working in Gulf and Europe. Okay,
Is the culture at
so
the higher side?
the
Top side is difficult, or the lower side because they don't assess the bigger problems. They have little visibility about what challenges the leader is facing. Is it that part, or is it like the top level is not understanding the technicalities of it? What do you think?
No, it's about the lower part. It's about the lower part. They are not able to understand. They are not able to understand the fact. The point is that it's a normal culture that is going on in this region, that they have to lift themselves up and they can do it outside Pakistan. Okay,
That's right.
so that motivation and that thing, maybe somebody can get progress. But what I think is, once you have the skill set in any part of the world, in any part of the world, you will be highly paid. You will have a good lifestyle. You will have everything.
Absolutely.
But the point is, what matters is your attitude. What
Actually,
matters is your attitude. If you are having a working attitude, if you are having a learning attitude, that's going to add lots of value.
true.
Number one. Number two point, the last point that I wanted to add, for the leaders, what I used to do with my team, uh, be always motivated.
True.
Okay, there are ripples always. Ripples are always there. Daily there would be two three ripples. If you are going up, there daily there will be two ripples. If you are going more up, monthly there will be two ripples. If you go more up, higher management, yearly there will be one or two ripples, but ripples would be there. Okay, keep yourself motivated always, and look below, that there are people there is a staff, there are your followers, they're looking to you as a mentor. They're looking to you as a mentor.
Absolutely.
So groom them, make them up a skill, make them realize the fact, learn something, and that's it. This is the real catch for any progress, for anything that you can deliver. If
So
you
I
are
will
able to
just
learn
close with last
something,
line is that since you emphasize a lot on the continuous improvement, I will emphasize also on the continuous learning because
learning. Yes,
AI is a changing game plan or lot of technologies, emerging technologies coming. Even from a business side, lot of models are coming, right? There are a lot of things that business from a product side they want to deliver. Only thing is to sustain is to enhance your learning from a BI side and from the business and the technical side. And you were very right. Attitude is like the basic thing. If your attitude is positive, the sky is the limit. Because
just as
the management always look about the attitude. So willingness and attitude that drives your self-motivation, that is the key to success. Anyways, I think it was a very great session with you, sir. I'm so much obliged for giving so much time and working through the BI strategy, BI culture, BI capabilities, assessment models. I hope whoever the folks who are listening to this podcast they can get some learning out of this. So much great information shared by Mr.
Inshallah.
Qureshi sir. So really grateful to you. Thank you, and I look forward to getting in touch with you again, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arif. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Best of luck. Thank
It was
you. Bye
amazing.
bye.
I'm stop.